What up? Well, there's a lot of information flying around, and a lot of disinformation, obviously. But I'm trying to look. I've been working on music, but I get my musical energy, my inspiration. It comes from you know the source, and for better or for worse, I'm tapped into collective energy, just like they say, empaths can sense other people's energies, and I do. I'm sensitive in that way. So with everything happening, I try to get to the music thing and give myself a break, but I'm coming up with a lot of ideas, but I'm not in my rhythm. I'm not able to feel the flow right now. I'm well, if you want to say distracted, I'm distracted from the music to bearing witness to everything going on. And I know a lot of people, you have your own way of coping and dealing. I get it. It's fine. But for me, I tell you what I'm noticing. I'm definitely noticing, definitely since, the little Trump rally thing. It's been like a blitzkrieg, a Zerg rush of agendas, I guess. The stuff in the UK and the stuff going on here in these United States, America, I guess. I don't know what to fucking call this shit anymore, but the homeland. It's a lot of stuff, a lot of moving parts, if you will. And one thing's for certain, this whole world revealing revelation, it's happening. And I will say I'm pleasantly encouraged, surprised that there are a lot of people out there who are seeing things as I see them. And I do think it's catching on. I think there's a lot of people still spellbound by various, I don't know, for lack of a better word, beliefs, belief systems, narratives, agendas, psyop, who just don't want to let go of it. And from a psychological standpoint, it's the cognitive dissonance. They're not confronting truth. And in this context, when I speak truth, I'm speaking of looking at things in a critical thinking discipline. Not using bias, not using beliefs, while still looking at the beliefs and the bias and how they're being used and intermingled to form these narratives. And the psychological maneuvering and how that's being used to form these narratives. We are being divided along these lines. But like I said, I'm pleasantly surprised and encouraged that there are some people out there willing to keep it real. I mean, keep it real. And you know, I'm a big believer in repentance and honesty. So, you know, I respect a lot when people come out and say, look, guys, I was along these lines for all this time, but now I've seen how that's been co-opted, hijacked. Which, if any of us think back, that was kind of our awakening moment, was it not? Realizing that in some way, as far as a narrative goes, as far as a belief system, as far as a worldview, we realized, holy shit, I was lied to. So, to me, there's no wrong in being wrong if you're being honest. But in being honest and being of the truth, you have to look at and be willing to at least consider the possibilities and the ideas that may be uncomfortable to look at. And I'm doing it too. It's happening to me. I generally try to stay away from the beliefs mentality, because that's where we've kind of came to, and that's where my years of looking at information, I found some things that, you know, gave me reason to, at least in terms of analysis, when it's time to analyze, I don't let that be my bias. It's the only way, you know, we talk about good science and, you know, the scientific method. I mean, that, it's basic intellectual honesty. And I guess as a belief system, you could say, well, there's your belief system right there. It may be. It may be. I'll give you that. Yeah, at least the appearance of, maybe, I'll give you that. Sure. But at the end of the day, that belief system requires evidence. That it requires, evidence in so much that in this material world that we live in, a world that we have all been kind of initiated into this thought process that we are governed by, things written on paper, which in itself requires a certain belief system. So we're all guilty of that. But when I say belief systems, I really mean I guess, bias, really. Confirmation bias, relying on fallacy logic as a means of quelling our own cognitive dissonance. And to anybody out there who's having a hard time, like, even looking at this information, they don't want to see it. I just want to say this. Look, we've all been there. But I could tell you this. It gets easier. Well, it gets less cognitive dissonant the more you exercise your, I'm going to say third eye, dude. I'm going to say embracing your God-given abilities. And I don't mean just sitting in a dark room and having visions. I mean, analyzing everything that we're in the midst of. And that includes, the spiritual and the physical. Because I think most of us would probably be able to agree that being at either extreme, if you want to look at it as a yin and yang kind of equation here, being at either end of those extremes is not, it's not healthy, and it's not truth. It's not patriotically responsible. It's not adult. It's not sovereign. It's not analytical. It's not scientific. It's a self-imposed psychological operation. So in closing here, I just want to say there's a lot of people that are being exposed right now. A lot of them being exposed. And you got to let go of fear. A lot of people being exposed. Fucking. Boy, I tell you. And just, oh, Jesus. MFing. Just, all I got to say is when you're on the right side, when you stand righteous, you're not one of these demons out here, whether knowingly or unknowingly, the future looks bright. Whether that's in this life or the next. But these dark forces are losing a grip. I think that's why we're seeing things happening in a quickening sort of fashion here, if you will. So, respect to all who are of the truth, are of the honesty, and who do have their, quote, hearts in the right place, and are not bad actors. Because these motherfuckers here, bro, and the ones they serve, their time is running out. Time is up. We are in the time, bro. There is no... Forget about it. If you're waiting on an election, dude, you're kind of playing... You've bought into a belief system that is based on dishonesty, and that's all I can say. It's time to get with it, brothers and sisters.